Wouldn't
statistically and physically, men are stronger. So, what if it's a woman that's same strength as a man? Because I think that the reason that men are being drafted is just because they're physically stronger and it's war. It's not something light. So that's the reason I'm assuming that they're choosing men to be drafted and not women.
Well, then should women be barred from volunteering from the military?
No.
Oh, but I thought men are stronger than women. Why? And when women do join the military, they get paid the exact same amount because it's government mandated. So if you're X rank in the military, whether you're a man or woman, you're going to get paid the exact same amount.
The men and women, I'm assuming, I've never been in the military, go through the same workouts and probably are similar in strength. And a woman that's in the military is going to be strong. That's going to be a strong woman. She works out a lot. They go through a lot of intense training.
Yeah, but okay, so if you put a man and a woman through the same exact training, do you think they're going to come out the same equal strength?
No, because men develop muscle faster, and they're just
so what do you think
stronger.
In addition to that, also the physical requirements to join are different?
Hail and well met.
Oh, look who it is.
Paladins donated $200.02. Just looked up rate of convictions of teachers SOing students. It's actually pretty similar numbers, although there are more female teachers, but the men had twice as long jail sentences.
Yo, lol paladins, thank you for the TTS, man. Do you know what it is per capita? Because you do say there are more female teachers, so are you talking per capita, or like this is accounting for per capita? So going back to the whole strength thing, I mean, it's not clear to me if the women who join the military are anywhere near as strong as their male counterparts in the military.
Could I add something to her point that she said earlier? The people that are qualified, but I actually have known women that have left Russia because it's not if you qualify. As soon as you turn 18, if there is a war, you're in the war. There's no question whether you qualify. There's no strength requirements. If you're a male or female at 18 and there's a war, you are sent to war. There's no question. So I just wanted to clarify. I know I don't know if he's specifically talking about the United States, but that's the specification for Russia that I've heard personally from women.
Okay.
Wait, are you saying that like the women are as strong as the men that are in the military?
No, I mean there might be some.
Okay.
Saying that generally is kind of impossible, but there might be women that are stronger than some of the men there. Because what if there's a guy that he's fresh out of high school, he's never worked out a day in his life, and he went to the military because he doesn't want to go to school. And then there's a woman that's been working out her whole life, and she's super buff. She's probably stronger than him, but that's just, it's specifics.
I mean, honestly, I would say the average male who joins the military is going to be stronger than 99% of all the women in the military. There might be like that 1% who, they work out a lot, but there's major just natural strength differentials between men and women.
Yeah, nobody's disagreeing with you on that. I already said that.
Okay, fair enough. But so you do think the equal thing would be to start drafting women. Do you agree with that?
I don't think that anybody should be forced to be in the military, men or women.
Well, so that's a fair statement. We can say that, well, war is bad, there shouldn't be war, but given that there is war, and given that that's not something we can really get rid of, or even if the state or country, they're involved in a defensive war. So they didn't actively seek out war came to them, they're going to defend themselves. Knowing that war really can't be avoided, knowing that governments and nations will never relinquish their right to force its citizenry into a military conflict, and given the reality that men do have to register for selective service, should women equally have to register too?
I don't think that, honestly, in a world, I don't think that it would be smart just because physically there is a big difference between men and women. But in the world of equality and that should men be getting drafted and women shouldn't? No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. So I don't think it's a smart idea because physically there's a big difference between men and women. But
Well, the military needs paper pushers. The military needs
yeah.
people in a support capacity. Not every soldier is going to be on the
Medics.
front line.
yeah, so then yeah. If it's a smart idea, we're talking about war here. I'm not talking about I just want everything to be equal. We're talking about war. So if it's the smartest idea to have men and women being drafted, then yeah.
Yeah, but we don't really like factor in, like when it comes to initiatives in other industries or sectors, we don't really ever have this conversation of, well, men are better, which is kind of what you're arguing. Men are better at this job than women due to physical strength, right? But I mean, that's never accounted for when we're talking about initiatives to get women overrepresented in other sectors. Do you think, let's bring it to sports, do you think that men and women should be paid equally, for example, like professional basketball players? Do you think they should be paid equally?
Well, aren't they paid based off of how much viewers they get and how
Yeah.
much people are going in to watch
Sure.
the games?
Absolutely.
So-
But the male basketball players make quite a lot of money, especially the stars, and female basketball players tend to make very little.
Yeah, so
But they're both playing the game.
If more people are coming into their game, then they're going to make more money. That's nothing I can
Okay,
do about
sure.
that. If more
That's
people
reasonable.
are coming into the male game, then
Okay.
obviously they're going to make more money.
So you don't think it's unfair that male basketball players make more than female basketball players?
I don't know how their salary works. So from what I'm assuming, you get paid based off of how many viewers and how many people are buying tickets to your games. So
Yeah.
it would be crazy to say it's unfair that less people are going to my game, you know? If they want to go to that game instead of that game, they can do that. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. It's not unfair. If they're getting paid
Don't
differently,
disagree.
like I don't know how basketball players get paid. So that's what I'm assuming. They're getting
Yeah.
paid based off of views and tickets to their games. So it's not unfair that more people want to go to that game. No one can do anything about that.
Totally reasonable position. Totally agree with you. Now, anybody else on the draft? You want to see women drafted? What do you think? I think that's
I
fair.
don't want to see anybody drafted, but like Riley said, if it's a smart decision to bring women in, then yeah, it's what's needed.
Right, but again, given the reality that men do have to register, do you think women should have to register too?
I just think that more men are in the military because of just like biology. They're stronger and they're more like fit for the job. So I see why only men would get drafted. So I just think this should just be men.
But aren't you a feminist?
I am.
But so how do you reconcile this very unequal position?
This is just like one of the things, man. I don't know. I just like, I mean, like I said, if women need to get drafted, yes. But if we're just talking one day, they're like, women have to be women are gonna get drafted, or like they have to be.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, damn, I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't want to.
Right.
And I
Same
don't
as the
think-
men. They
so I
probably don't want
think-
to either. But they get forced, unlike women.
But who built that system? Like that system, you know?
But what about the men, though? Well, I don't know if that's. Well, okay, so if Kamala Harris becomes president, well, she wouldn't have total. Okay, this is not the. She would not be able to undo the selective service system. So the argument I was about to make was not a strong one. But if it was women in positions of power, would it still not just be unequal?
if women made up, like if women were the ones to be like men have to be drafted, or for women
Yeah.
to be drafted.
What do you mean?
Like, so we're saying in a world it's like women saying that the men have to be drafted or the women.
Wait, what? If the women are saying,
Are you saying we're talking hypothetical
The
right
women
now?
are the ones
here,
in
let me give you an example. So let's say the government was majority women.
Okay,
Supreme
so
Court.
it is an imaginary
No.
world.
I'm switching. Let me give a different example. The government was majority women. The Supreme Court majority women. President a woman. But these women are conservative women, mind you. About 50% of women are pro-life. If this government, a majority women, passed legislation fully outlawing abortion for the entire United States, and if you complained about it and I turned to you and said, but who's passing those laws? Would that be a compelling argument?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, like, it is women who are doing it, so I can't be like it's men doing it.
Right, but so it's like, so, okay, it's women, so your issue doesn't matter? Is that the argument?
No, it's not that it doesn't matter. Obviously, it really does.
But
suck.
so, yeah, but so we got
And
to
it's
stick
also
to the
abortion
argument.
is kind of like I feel like it's a very different thing.
How so? Has to do with bodily autonomy, doesn't it?
No.
We were talking about the war.
Yeah, we're talking about
Yeah.
war, not somebody
Wait, hold
having
on.
a baby.
So a government forcing you, like, they can move where you live. They can force you to perform exercises and train. They can force you into a geography or a combat zone where you could die, where you could get a bullet in your stomach or your head or your heart. That has absolutely everything to do with bodily autonomy.
No, you're right. It is the government's control over somebody. And to your argument, you were saying if it would be different if it was a woman in charge or not. I think that the problem, whether it's the men in charge or not, because women can be sexist too. Women can be sexist towards women. If it would still be a problem of sexism if that was a problem. If it was all women, I would say those are sexist women. It's not that all men are sexist and that all women are not. There can 100% be feminist men and sexist women. So it's not a difference of a man in office or a woman in office. It's a difference in their morals as a human being.
Wait, so you think women that are pro-lifers are sexist towards women?
No.
Oh,
But so going back to
We're
the
not talking about
draft.
pro-life.
So
that was the example.
So should women be drafted? Be subject to the draft?
I just have one question before I answer that. Do they have to qualify first? Like, do they like run like?
No.
Are you sure?
I mean,
Can you
there's some.
search it up?
Okay, there are some things.
Because if a woman qualifies, then yeah.
So there are some things that can exempt you from military service. Although in the case of a draft, like for example, if you have certain medical conditions, it could exempt you from service, right? But I mean, if you're talking about the average woman, I don't think that there's anything when it comes to the average woman that exempts them from service.
but I'm just saying
because
overall.
average women can volunteer for the volunteer military.
Then yeah.
So
If-
yes,
if-
women would qualify.
Then yeah.
If that same woman could volunteer and join the military,
I said
she should
yes.
also be subject to forced military conscription.
Yep. If she
Simple as
qualifies,
that.
same with the man. If the man
Sure.
qualifies, everyone should. If they qualify.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We need to start sending women to war. You guys are great feminists. I love it. Send the women to war. Send them.
Hey, if that's
I'm
a
just
smart decision,
anti-war.
as you already said, there's more things to do in the war than fight. There's
Yeah.
plenty of other positions that need work. So if that's a smart decision to have
Mm-hmm.
women and men, then leave it up to the government and they'll make that decision.
Screw the government.